Good morning, Kenyans. Today is 1st September 2025. I think we are now past 3/4 of this year. Hii mwaka ishe ya 2025. We go to 2026. And itakuwa na mambo mingi sana ya campaign and so many other things. And as usually say, people, I know it's a new week, Monday. Some people, they don't like what they are doing. Some people don't like to report to their jobs. Some people are still in bed. Some people are wondering where they should go. And, I'm a Christian. I told you that. And I want to encourage some people and tell them that one time, Jesus asked the disciples that, if you cannot change in your head, maybe one black hair, you can't turn it to white, or one white hair, you can't it to black. Just do what you can. Another person said that in most cases, we worry about a future that we may not be there even. And another one said, one of the reasons why the children of Israel wandered in the desert for that too long, because even the small that they had, they were not grateful to God. Gratitude. Ile hati ya kuambia Mungu asanti. Wewe umeamka, maybe hauna pesa mingi, but you have woken up. Kuna mtu na pesa zake zote alikuwa anaomba a 1 minute extendiwe hii maisha na 2 minutes or 1 day, but it was not possible. Kuna mwingine na pesa zake zote, he can't come out of that hospital bed. I usually read the case of a guy called Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was one of the billionaires in this world. In fact, during his time, maybe he was the richest man in the world. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs died when he was around 56 years. And I read a book somewhere that Steve Jobs was ready to give everything because he was the richest guy. He's the one who invented Apple. He was ready to give everything to make sure that he can extend his life, or to make sure alikufa na, was it a spleen cancer, something like that, but it's spleen cancer. So he was ready to give everything in the world for any doctor mwenye angemponya hiyo condition. Ilikuwa inaitwa spleen cancer, but surprisingly hakuna mtu angesaidia Steve Jobs. It was just like that, he had to die. Unaona? So sometimes you have to make peace with the reality. Sometimes we are there, maybe we're not doing so much well, but let us be grateful to God, even for the gift of life. People they take a gift of life for granted. And I usually tell you every morning that kukuwa na the gift of life, kukuwa na afya njema. It is said that afya njema ni taji kwa walio na afya. Lakini ila tu hiyo taji huonekana na walio wagonjwa. Afya njema ni taji kwa walio wagonjwa, ila tu hilo taji huonekana na walio wagonjwa. Health, to be healthy is a crown on health people's head, but it can only be seen by the sick people. Ukitembea huko barabara, unadhani mambo yako imekuwa ngumu sana. Watu ambao wanatembea wakiwa wagonjwa, ama ukienda hospitali ukitembea huko wards, ukiangalia mtu fulani, wewe ukitembea huko huoni kama wewe ni lolote. Yani you don't like you have any value, or your life is so bad. But when you're walking like that, sick people are seeing like you have a crown on your head. So guys, sorry for that. So tunaambia Mungu asanti for the gift of life and to be healthy. 1st September, tunaangalia magazeti ya leo. And we have the headlines for the Standard. I don't know why I'm sneezing, and I have a cough. Kwa sababu it's early morning. So we are looking at Daily Nation, 1st September and Standard. Hapa yani hizi gazeti Kenya, I don't know, hata nilikuwa ninauliza my director, should we continue reading the newspaper for Kenyans until Ruto atoke, ama tuache mpaka Ruto atoke? Because sometimes ago, even reading newspaper for Kenyans, there were good news. This one's is like, God, hata nimekuja nikaangalia newspaper nikashindwa leo, do we have any positive thing we can say in this country? Yeah, and it's a reality. of what the newspaper are writing, because we live in this country and we know. Like in the Daily Nation, the reality is you have the photo of a lady here anaitwa Margaret Nyakango. Margaret Nyakango is the controller of budget. Is the controller of budget. Hiyo ndio picha yake imewekwa hapa, and the story on page 2 and 3. You know what is happening? Like saizi, I was being told most of the schools, I don't know which schools, but most of the schools, I was told by some parents that this term alone, watoto wenye wameingia shule wameongezewa fee. I know one school, like a national school in Murang'a, waliongezewa to a point of 7,000. Imagine mzazi anaongezewa fee kwa term to a point of 7,000. Na si ya shule, ya chakula. They were told that the capitation ile government ilikuwa inapeana imereduce na hata haiko. They are not given. From January they have not been given. So, wazazi they are being told now, kwa sababu hakuna capitation, even food, walimu wanaweza ngoja other things, but even food ya watoto ya kukula, imagine it is no longer there in the schools. It is no longer there. But you look at the front page of Daily Nation, unaona Auditor General Special Audit found that existent schools pocketed 3.7 billion in capitation funds over 4 years. Ati so far shule haziko, yani shule uwezo nyeshana zime receive over 3.7 billion, money that can be able to feed all these students, all them in this country. But hizo shule zenye haziko, they have pocketed 3.4 billion. Alafu ukienda hiyo page 2, zinakuonyesha a school that is no longer there. Kuna shule inaitwa Kaptioni Girls High School. Imewekwa kwa mstuni. A billboard imechorwa vizuri, billboard imepakwa rangi vizuri, but imewekwa kwa mstuni ndani. Hata kuna gate tu pekee kwa hiyo mstuni. Ati hiyo mstuni ni shule. Alafu imeandikwa PO Box 593 Kabarnet. Motto: Sacrifice to Excellence. The Republic of Kenya Ministry of Education, Kaptioni Girls High School, PO Box Kabarnet. So you look at what is happening in this country. Hiyo ni watu wameenda wakatengeneza gate ya 20,000, wakatengeneza billboard maybe another 20,000, wakaweka billboard kwa barabara, alafu wakaweka gate pale ndani. Wakasema hiyo ni Kaptioni Girls High School. Na hakuna shule kama hiyo. Imagine shule zenye haziko zikireceive 3.7 billion. And Kenyans, you don't become. Yani hata msikiagi vibaya. Utasikia tu mtu mwingine akisema, one term. 2 term. Me, when I'm saying this government should go, utasikia mtu mwingine akiniambia, ninyi wa Kikuyu wacheni wivu. Nyinyi ndio mko na wivu kwa sababu. And this is a reality. We have a school. Maybe that school could have been existence in that area of Kabarnet. Those are areas, my friend, in Baringo. Hata sometimes wasomagi because of bandits. Yeah, it is in Baringo County, Kabarnet. Watu wasomi kwa sababu ya bandits. But that's where we have most of the non-existent schools. Shule haziko. Money is being, no, let me tell you. Somebody said somewhere yesterday that a country can survive corruption. Any country in the world can survive corruption. But no country can survive looting. Because what we have in this regime is pure looting. This country will not survive. This country, I can tell you, I can assure you, it will not stand. Because tunapoongea 3.7 billion in non-existent schools, hiyo ni capitation peke yake. Ukizo shule zimeallocatiwa pesa za michezo, zimeallocatiwa mambo na health. Sasa ukishikanisha zikiallocatiwa health, unakuta like even the authorities in the Ministry of Health wanasema that Rogi Hospitals tried to steal 10 billion. They tried, and we were here with you people to see the money that they were looting. Some of those hospitals rather. And surprisingly, I came to realize that most of these big hospitals, private hospitals, who ziko linked na kupora mali ya umma ya SHA, kumbe during isha ndio walipewa kandarasi au ndio walikuja na strategy ya SHA. My friend, SHA haikukuja na mtu a good Kenyan mwenye akaenda akaambia Ruto ati here is a good plan that can help people, inaitwa SHA, ati Ruto bought into the idea. No. These cartels, because they know the kind of Ruto person is na kati yenye anataka, watu ndio wali draft how SHA was going to work. They are the ones who drafted how SHA was going to work na wakampelekea. That's why this SHA, even the system, they are the ones who procure. That's why it will keep collapsing. Money zitaendelea kuibiwa until the end. Kenyans mtakuwa mnaenda hospitali, you have a kidney failure, you have a chronic major conditions, wewe unarudi nyumbani uende ukufie nyumbani. And Kenyans has money, usidanganywe na watu. Kenya has money, usidanganywe na watu. The reason we are having all this is because of rooting. Imagine kama hizi pesa, hiyo ni ile ya auditor general wameona 3.7 billion capitation fund over 4 years zimekuwa zikienda to an existent school. Imagine hizo shule zingekuwa zinaenda to existent schools and Kenyans are okay with their country. They have given up to fate. Yeah, wanataka tu kusafa. Yesterday I was looking at some news and I was looking at Kenyans when I think over last week peke yake wamekufia Saudi Arabia. Ladies wenye wamekufia Saudi Arabia, sijui alikufa alitapika akakufa Saudi Arabia, sijui alitoka gorofa ya 4. So weird stories venye wamekufa huko Saudi Arabia, and you are like, how comes this country we can't make a conducive environment and create jobs for our youth? Should they die in those countries like slaves, because slavery ni kaa isharudi. And during that time when Kenyans are dying in Saudi Arabia, we have a president who is telling Kenyans, mimi nienda kuwatafutia makazi huko nchi za nje, mwende mfanye huko kazi. As if yeye haizi enda kuwa president huko nchi za nje. And I love this generation because they are telling him point blank, Mr. President, wewe unaenda kutafuta kazi huko nchi za nje. My friend, wewe enda utafute kazi huko nchi za nje, my friend. You just get out, uende ukue president na huko nchi za nje. So also the same Daily Nation, unaona wanasema foreign learners authorities have flagged inflated enrollment figures. What the report showing school steals more than 700 million annually. Imagine 700 million annually. You know, let me tell you, if I am the director in this studio and I became a thief, like mimi huwa naiba kila kitu, yani inakaa it's I'm the director, maybe it is people have shares here, naiba curtain, naiba nini, don't be so surprised that even the people who work in this studio, the cameraman, the director, they will still do the same. Yeah, they will take the cue behind me. Mimi nikiiba curtain, yanatoa curtain rod. Mimi nikiiba camera, yanatoa camera rods. Mimi nikiiba taa moja, yanaiba ingine. You understand? So they usually say sema kimoja in Kikuyu they say adu adogo ikinyagiraga. When you have a president mwenye amenyamaza, hataki kujua kama pesa zinaibiwa. Because ukiangalia Standard, the same first page, tuko bread based at 1 chronism on or unlocking the county's potential. Tuko na unmoved by outcry. Kuna minister watatu wanasemekana Ruto anatumia kupora mali ya umma. Number 1 katikati yao ni Aden Duale. Aden Duale, we are talking about the entire last week. Pesa za SHA zimeibiwa na people who are officials in that SHA, people who have been held CEOs in that SHA. Kuna wa pili anaitwa Murkomen. Kuna watatu anaitwa Chilchil. In fact, Chilchil alikuwa amefutwa mpaka na serikali ya Uhuru because of that, because of corruption. A very corrupt guys these are. Unaona? Very corrupt guys these are. These are the people Kenyans are saying that these are the people wenye Ruto anatumia kufyonza nchi. Mimi huwa najiuliza, anapeleka hizi pesa zote wapi? Why will you take all the money? Because you can't steal all this money ndio kuja upatie watu 2027. Yani when people's children have died, you kill them on the street. Their parents are dying in hospitals because there is no medications. Their children are dropping out of school. And you're using these 3 people muibe pesa ya umma. Ndio ati sasa mkwe mnawaita State House. Kila mtu nampe 5,000. Ule mama mtoto wake amekufa. Maybe ameenda hospitali, wameambiwa kuna kitanda and the mother has died. Then unachukua miguu, unakimbia State House, unapo 5,000 and you go home. And unajua surprising hizo si pesa zake. You know hizo si pesa zake because hakuna mtu anaweza kuwa na pesa za kuwa anapeana every day. Atikindiki yako huku Mount Kenya every day anapeana 10,000 kwa kila mtu. Ruto ako huko State House imekuwa handout anapeana kila mtu. All this money mnasikia zinaibiwa za SHA billions, capitation, schools, non-existent school 3.7 billion. These are the money you are given. So mtoto wako mwenye angesoma university maybe with government help, mtoto wako mwenye angesoma high school amalize with capitations, government piane capitation, unaenda unapo 5,000 and you sacrifice all that. Then unatoka hapa ukisema ukionyesha watu na vidole tuta, my friend, what happened to this country? The same person is telling you that, oh, my politics ni kama za Kibaki, I'm the best president, matakataka, as if Kenyans are fools. I want you to tell me a single day that you saw Kibaki even dishing out anything to any person. At Kibaki alienda State House akasikia akapeana handout, even one. Ama uniambie even somewhere in a field ulisikia Kibaki ametuma watu waende wapeane handout. Anywhere in this world it is not there. But Kibaki ndele hizi motorbike zote wana zimejaa in this. Before Kibaki you could not have ordered a motorbike. Hizi motorbikes kakuja akafungua barabara shule within I think 6 months of becoming the president. Was it 6 or 3 months? He ordered his then Minister of Education George Saitoti to declare that education is free to all. Tukoona mpaka watu walikuwa 89 years and 80 years, imagine, wakaanza kurudi shule. Akina walikuwa ito nani? There's this guy from Subukia, mzee sana. Alisema tu walikuwa wanataka tukujua tu kuandika jina yake. A guy, watu wakarudi shule. Enrollment ikadouble. Watu walikuwa around 50% school. Watu wakadouble. Mpaka places like Pokot, Northeastern, kwenye watu hawakuenda shule, people started going to school. Shule ikakuwa free. Now, these are the people who are unmoved by outcry of the Kenyans, and these are the people in Ruto's kitchen cabinet. The Standard is saying they have survived scandals that would have ruined lesser men. Ukumbuke even Gen Z wakienda kwa street, one person walikuwa nasema aende kabisa was Murkomen. Murkomen that time alikuwa transport. Na akiwa transport tu jamaa alikuwa anavaa mpaka kiatu ya 1 million. Alikuwa anavaa saa ya 6 million. He used to loot literally. Then from the looting of billions under their watch to questionable oil imports, wame import back oil, to a high death toll from road accident and serious human rights abuses. But Aden Duare, Davis Chichi and Kipchumba Murkomen remain untouchable, shielded not by performance, but their unbreakable bond with President William Ruto. In Ruto's inner circle, survival is not about survey, it's about loyalty. And scandal is merely the cost of doing business. It's very shameful that none of our Kenyans are defending such crooks. And let me tell you, this is your country. Hamna country ingine. Sometimes I look at these countries that are surrounding Kenyans. I look at Rwanda, I look at Tanzania, I look at the Uganda. These are countries that should be bowing down to us completely. They should not even be the countries that can even dare us in any contest. If you look at Rwanda, it's like one of the former provinces in Kenya. It's not even bigger than Rift Valley. Yeah, it's somehow like even some counties in Kenya are bigger than Rwanda. Yeah, even Mount Kenya region, economy ya Rwanda ni kama Mount Kenya region. Do you people know that? Mount Kenya region we try to hivyo their economy ni kama ya Rwanda. Tanzania, ukienda Tanzania when they are coming to Kenyans, my friend, or now wakienda heaven. But now that is changing. Ukienda Uganda, this is the first time you are being respected by this country because of the kind of a president now we have, rooting massively. Nataka ufunge macho hivi na usiunge. Uniambie what Ruto has done for the last 3 years. Let us say 2 terms. Hata mimi nitasema. But tell me one thing that Ruto has done for the last 3 years. The only thing anaambia watu ni affordable. I usually ask people, are we fools or something? We know the affordable thing. Watu walikuwa wanaambia wanaita still. Ndio walikuwa enda sasa wanaambia Ruto ati tunataka wewe uongoze for 25 years so that they can do business. It's just business. Because I told you, some of these projects don't make sense. Don't make sense. Assume you're in Nyandarua. Let me give you an example of where I come from, because that's where I know exactly where it comes from. Maybe Mount Kenya region, Nyandarua. If you go to Nyandarua, a piece of land 50 by 100, it will cost you 300,000. 50 by 100, it will cost you 300,000. Then unajengewa affordable house in Orkarau or Kinangop. Then unajengewa bed sitter as an affordable house. Alafu hiyo bed sitter inatoka only 1 million. Only, si mingi, only 1 million. Bed sitter. Do you know what is a bed sitter? It's a studio. Bed sitter ni kama kanyumba tu kamejengwa na choo pale kando. Yeah, and washrooms. Can I say washroom choo? Okay, zimetengenezwa pale kando. That's something you are being told it's 1 million. While a plot of land 50 by 100 hapo chini hiyo kabedi sasa unauzwa huko juu. Na hiyo hata shamba si yako, kanatoka 300. 300 with another 500 utaweka nyumba ya 1 bedroom ama 2 bedroom, a very decent house for your family na fence with that 1 million. Then unapelekea watu at affordable houses in Nyandarua. And people ask Ruto, nani hanako? How can you kill education system? How can you kill health because of your businesses that are affordable? You think Kenyans are fools? Kenyans are not fools. And that's why unasikia Ruto, you are irredeemably corrupt to lead this country, because you people are not even corrupt. You are rooting this country. You are rooting this country dry. And that is a fact. That is the reality of the issue. You people are rooting this country. So, these are the faces, Standard inaoneshana that these people, hakuna kitu naweza waambia. They are there and they make sure they are the authorities. hao ndio authorities ndio wanaamua what happens in this government, and not because of the service but because of loyalty. But one thing I can tell Kenyans is that hii mambo na it's not about Ruto in my end. I know the reason why Ruto cannot fire any of these men, because every day hizi pesa huwa anapeana State House, hao ndio huwa anapeleka. Ama mnafikiria zinatoka wapi? Hebu funga macho yake. Juzi niliona Aden Duale na kiburi aliambia Kenyans that kama nyinyi hamna pesa, wacheni kuuliza hizi empowerment zimetoka wapi. How can we have a government that is dishing handout every day? How many people will be given? And in fact, it's very funny because those people who usually say, oh, a certain region is not in the government, that's why wanapiga kelele. Surprisingly, all the empowerments, they are taken to that region. Does that not surprise you? Does that not make you feel stupid? Surprisingly, kama ni wahubiri, he usually go and maybe host the preachers from that region alone. Kama ni watu, that last week alone, amehost watu wa Meru. In fact, alihost watu wa Kiambu, where each was given 10,000. Akahost watu wa Meru, each was given 10,000. Akahost watu wa Tharaka Nithi, each was given 10,000. Akahost watu wa Embu in 1 week. Now watu ndio mnapiga kelele kwa sababu other regions are not given anything. They are going down because this guy does not care about this country. He cares about votes, and he thinks that now because 2027 is approaching and he has done nothing, he thinks he can use the money they have looted to wahonge watu. I'm telling you, Kenyans, if you don't open your eyes, we are all going down. Ruto should be the last president to have been voted by tribal arithmetics. The direction we are going, let us look at a person's values. Let us look at a person's value. Kuna time tukifanya campaign ya 2022, and that's why I wonder Kenyans don't change. Tukifanya campaign ya 2022, ikakuwa very hard kuambia watu who Ruto is. It became very hard because watu walikuwa wamefunga masikio, walikuwa sema huyu ni mwizi wetu, ametumwa na Mungu, hata kama kitambo alikuwa mbaya, amebadilika. Do people change? If a person show you their true colors, don't try to repaint them. That's a very old adage. Ati mtu akuonyesha their true colors, don't make a mistake of thinking you can be able to repaint them. We tried. So tukakuja na inara tulikuwa tunauliza watu, now assume your parent and your days here on earth have been numbered. Maybe remember in next 1 week you will not be around in this world, you will go, and you have very small children. Then tulikuwa tunawekea Ruto hapa na tunawekea Raila. Tunauliza between these two, go with a pen, sit down, look at their history. When you look at their history, then jiulize, mimi nikikufa ni nani ningetaka niachie hawa watoto wangu? Maybe uko na property, uko na karento pahali, watoto wanaweza kuwa wanapatia pesa. Nikauliza ni nani mnaweza patia? I came with that narrative, try to convince people to see the kind of a person they were voting. Hata wakasema hiyo si kama hivyo. Si kama hivyo ni nini, my friend? A country is where right now umeenda kutengeneza this country not because of yourself. Yeah, you're just living at the moment, but you are doing this because of the generation to come. When people like Wangari Maathai were fighting for the Karura and the Uhuru Park, yeah, they were not fighting for to benefit from it. They were old people, but they were fighting for the generations to come. When people like Oginga Odinga were fighting for democracy, Akina Matiba, Akina Charles Rubia, they were not doing it for themselves. They were doing like for their children. Children wakikuja watauliza, where were Rubia? Where were Matiba of that time? Wakina Wangari Maathai of that time walienda wapi? Do you understand? Yeah, that is the reason we usually tell you. Ukiangalia sana watu wengi walicollaborate na Moi kuumiza wa Kenya. In the books they faded. They faded away. And that's why me personally, when I'm looking at the Standard and the front page they are bringing Baba, I usually feel so bad. I usually feel so bad. What happened to this mzee? When you have all these things happening, Baba is very comfortable. In fact, he is very okay. Mpaka nashindo, did I live a lie all that time I supported this mzee? Did I live a lie? Ama, he was just like that at you feel it, but what do you do now? Okay? What do you do even if you feel it? So, Standard inakuonyeshana people when unmoved. Na hakuna kitu mnaweza sema. They are moved by the outcry of Kenyans. And they have been surviving because of loyalty. Na hiyo road I'm 100% ikiba mahali ya umma. So, page 2, before tuende kwa page, tuko Nairobi MCA's launch signature campaign to impeach Sakaja. If Nairobi imewahi kuwa na the useless governor, it is Sakaja. Yani Nairobi. Yani, what will we ever do to Nairobi? because ni kama tunatoka kwa the worst tunaingia kwa the worstest, mpaka ule mwenye tulifikia ni the worst mpaka ana warm up kurudi kiti ya governor tena. People, unajua Kidero was the first governor, and Kidero being the first governor, Kenyans thought Kidero amefanya vibaya sana because there was corruption, there was nothing that was going on in Nairobi County during Kidero's time. Kenya wakasema hapana, we have to change. Wakaenda wakaeka mkora mwingine anaitwa Sonko. Wow. Sasa county ikasambaratika mpaka ikapewa wanajeshi. After kupewa wanajeshi, then sasa Ruto akaingia na a guy came here with dimples. Akasema sasa lazima work my friend. Nothing is working my friend. Nothing is working. Kama ni Rita, kama ni takataka, kama ni everything. Yani it has become worse until nasikia sasa ule jamaa alitolewa akiwa the worst Kidero. Sasa he's warming up to come back. Akaona afadhali, by the way, yeye alikuwa tunakaa kwa office there, hakuna kitu alikuwa anafanya kuliko kujaribu. Imagine he's trying to come back because wenye wamekuwa they have been the worst. Yani Nakuru haijaipata any person who come to Nairobi County, not Nakuru, I mean any person who come to Nairobi, hata Nakuru, by the way, it's not a slip of the tongue. Nakuru pia is another county. Any person who has come to Nairobi County, kazi ni kula Nairobi County. So these MCAs, they are making noise, wanasema Sakaja pia lazima akule na wao because Sakaja is eating everything. Nisikia somewhere rumor, I don't want to say it's true here, it's a rumor that MCAs ndio drop hii impeachment ya Sakaja. Waliambia Sakaja each MC lazima apewe 5 million. They know the amount of money that guy has stolen in that county ama yenye amerut. So walimwambia lazima awape kila mtu 5 million. So is that a country now? What will happen to this country? Na ilifika mahali during Uhuru's time akaona hiyo Nairobi is going to the dogs. Akaipatia major. Alikuwa ndio major nani? Ali somebody. But alikuwa mkubwa wa jeshi, a brigadier in the army. Huyo sasa ndiye alifanya kazi Nairobi. Badi, yeah, he was called Badi. Major Badi at least mpaka ungeenda hizi mitaa za mabanda, you go to Githurai, you go to Kawangware, you go to Tagureti, you go to all those mitaa. Ebu enda saa hizi ukute places kulikuwa na sewerage, mazee jamaa alijaribu kuweka cabros. Places akajaribu kuweka cabros, street lighting Nairobi, takataka zilikuwa inaokotwa, military ndio ilifanya kazi, at least Nairobi kasimama. Otherwise you go to the dogs. Lakini saa hizi even Ruto himself will not want military to come to Nairobi to help because kuna share yenye huwa anapata. Nilisikia hii mambo ya kuokota takataka, nilisikia ni akina Oscar Sudi huwa wamepoa 300 million every month. 300 million every month na Sakaja wakote na yeye protect from the president as Kaya ambiwa atakuwa impeached. That is what is happening in this country. Alafu Kenyans, mimi nilijua this will come back. Tribal clashes in one Nakuru River and dead overnight, curfew imposed. That is date 3. Kuna nini zimetokea huko side za Njoro, Mwishoarami and TPs in Njoro, Nakuru County. After one person was killed, tribal clashes zimeanza. I told you people that if you pray for Kenya. In our generations, most of us, we don't care about this tribe or whatever. And that's why tunasema Ruto should be the last president will be voted or atawai kuwa president on tribal arithmetics. Any other person who will come must have something called merit. Because we can't have tribal clashes this time and era. Yani tumekuwa shenzi kweli. And that's the reason even Kenyans are going to places like Tanzania, wa Kenyans wanafukuzwa warudi kwao because watu wanaona Kenya ni washenzi. My friend, this time and era and age, you have tribal clashes for what, my friend? Upige mtu atatoke kwa shamba yake, you will never take it. But watu wanaambia wewe you will never take it. What is tribal clashes? Kama mtu anaown shamba na hako na title, hata uende umpige, hata umpeleke wapi, you will not take it. Remember during the tribal clashes of 2007, the current president Ruto alichukua shamba ya neighbor yake naitwa Muteshi. It was called Muteshi. Go and look at that story. Over 100 acres. Neighbor uko Eldoret. Did he take it? Alienda na hiyo shamba? Hakuenda nayo because Muteshi had all the documents. Yeah? Muteshi went to court because Kenya has law. We have some institutions that are working and we want to thank the judiciary because it's the line, the last line. He can't send it to the dogs. At least ishikiwa na judiciary because alienda huko na akaambiwa rudishia Muteshi shamba yake. So if you are doing all these tribal clashes hapa, wengine wakidhani they can be able to take somebody's land, you cannot be able to take somebody's land. So mimi nashangaa when politicians wanaanza kupiganisha wa Kenya, anaambiwa clashes between the two communities, so at least 10 houses touch. Hata get kusema communities because it will feel bad. Serious cuts and wound, and one was shot with an arrow. Mtu alipigwa mshale. Hundreds of tens residents fled Tipi's center on Sunday morning for fear of further attacks. Those fleeing their homes are afraid using tractors and motor. Watu wanaanza kukimbia kwa makwao. These are era and age. Watu wanaenda kwa mwezi. Watu wanaenda Mars. Kenya bado tuko na ushenzi ya hii kabila na hii kabila na hii kabila. I usually tell people go to Tanzania. We have over 80 tribes. You can't be able to tell huyu anatoka kabila gani, anatoka kabila gani. People are judged because of their characters. But hapa nchi ya ushenzi, nchi ya utakataka, my friend, bado watu wanapigana wewe ni kabila gani, ni kabila gani, kama watu washenzi kabisa. Yeah? Kama ni watu washenzi kabisa, my friend. And we are all going down. Lakini wanapiganiaga those petty issues, yeah? Au utaenda usikie watu wanakisema hospitali yetu si ndio kwa serikali iko na dawa, watoto wetu wanasoma vizuri kwa sababu sisi ni kabila na president anatoka hii kabila. Hapana. You even realize most of those places, even where the president come from, my friend, they are the least developed. Na hakuna kitu haifanywa. Nimewapea example nikwambia na hii empowerment zinafanyika in the entire country. People are making noise. Tell me how many delegations of the common mwananchi you have seen coming from Nyanza. Tell me how many you have seen coming from the Masai Land. Tell me how many you are seeing from wanatoka na huko Shamakoko or Western or even Rift Valley. Tell me how many. You can't see even one. People are coming here. When mnasema hawako serikali Kiambu wapi, that's where they are coming from. Because Ruto to him, hii ni mchezo ya kuchezea wa Kenya. This is just a game. Anataka kuchezea wa Kenya, pesa zao zibiwe. And Kenyans, you are just there doing a lot of nonsense. This one should be the last president to be voted on tribal arithmetics. Sasa hapa tunafika ile gazeti page 5, tunaona the untouchables. Yeah, sasa president amenda, this is the 25th time since the handshake ifanyike kwenda Nyanza. Yeah, amejaribu sana na tunaona in fact this photo ya Ruto akiwa Nyanza akiwa na the Bishop of SK Diocese of Maseno, Reverend John Mark Haungodia and Sia Governor James Orengo amecheka sana. Orengo is one guy mwenye amejaribu so much kupigana na kusema where we Ruto take us. Where we Ruto take us. But right now he has to toe the line because nasikia the impeachment motion imekuwa tabled because he want to defy what mzee is saying. Anapiga kelele mzee akikula. So because Anyang' Nyong'o anaanza kupiga kelele mzee akikula akiwa kwa meza, impeachment motion inawekwa hapo. So unamuona hapa yeye ndio kwanza alitumwa aende I receive Ruto. I'm telling you, I don't know what we'll do in this country. I don't know. But if you people think Ruto is doing well and he's the best president, and so be it. Simurudishe. You think there is some people that wataumia waache kumia? We are all going down. So Ruto trusted men hope tried out the storm despite many blunders. These are people, ukiangalia Murkomen from the Youth Affair Creative Sports, akatolewa, you read this story of Kipchumba Davis, Kipchumba vitu alikuwa za pipi za barabara, time alikuwa barabara, Davis za JKIA, Anduare za SHA, and hakuna pale unaweza peleka, because I can tell you all these cuts, especially za SHA, huwa zinaenda kwa mtu mmoja and mikono ya mtu mmoja, that is President William Samoei. Alafu hapo unaona Ruto amecheka sana na amegonga Raila kwa mabega. Amecheka mdomo yote nje because alijua at least will not just go down. Amepata mtu wa kubebesha this mzigo. Mzee, mimi ningekuwa Raila, even if Kenyans did not vote me or they voted me, I could have died with my pride intact of a good country. All I ever fought for, ningepigana nayo. Hiyo jinga ya kusema kwamba like the reason Raila huwa anashikana na mapresident because hamvote, so akianguka mnataka aende wapi? Sisi wenye huwa tulikuwa tunashikiliaga Raila akianguka, si huwa tunaenda wapi? Where do we go? Nyinyi wenye huwa mlikuwa mnavote Raila na ameanguka, where do you go? So continue with your life. Watu wamekufa, watu wamekuwa injured, so continue, where do you go? What kind of a flimsy excuse watu huwa wanafikiria sisi ni washenzi, okay? Haya, Gachagua kick out Jubaland Army now. This is a story that I don't want to speak so much about because I think also this one in Reto Uchochezi ya bure. Because Kenyans don't understand who are the Jubaland forces. Jubaland forces are not the Al-Shabaab. Ni kama right now Kenyans tunakuwa na forces mingi sana. Tuko na British forces. Wamejaa huko side za Nanyuki. Is it true or not true? Yes, we have British forces. Are they a threat to us? No. Have we ever talked about being a threat? No. Are the Jubaland forces a threat to us? No, they have been our allies to fighting Al-Shabaab. Jubaland forces have also helped us a lot in fighting Al-Shabaab. So when you see even people of Mandera wakisema Juba forces watolewe huko, maybe they are short the business that unajua hiyo ndio ile area hiyo side za Mandera kwenye Al-Shabaab because it's the border. Huwa alikuwa anakaa sana, wanaingia Kenya wanakaa, then they just go back. So maybe they can even there's a possibility hao watu wanasema hivyo because the Al-Shabaab in the area they are feeling so insecure with the Jubaland forces. Jubaland forces yet ni wale Al-Shabaab. You know, Kenyans don't understand who are the Jubaland forces. That's why sometimes it's good to tell people who are the Jubaland forces. Tusitumie kitu kama hiyo yenye Gachagua anataka kutumia incite Kenyans against our allies. Jubaland forces are our allies. They are not the Al-Shabaab. But most of the Kenyans, they think Jubaland forces are ni kama Al-Shabaab kind of. Unaona? These are the forces wenye walitusaidia sana kupigana na Al-Shabaab. Sana sana sana. In fact, hao ndio walisaidia Kenya Defense Forces even kucapture Kismayo, the port yenye Al-Shabaab walikuwa wanatumia. That's why the issue of Jubaland forces, I have talked about those issues, but Jubaland forces I'm very careful to talk about it because I don't want also to sound like a fool. Yeah? Ama mtu mwenye akona akili akisikia nikiongea anashindwa majuice. Without wewe unakuwa na akili. What are you telling Kenyans? Yeah, because we are not here just to raise people emotions. What do I feel like? No, we have to, because they don't have information, because wanajaribu kushikanisha like the Jubaland forces ndio Al-Shabaab. Hapana. Jubaland forces, there are forces in Juba who usually fight the Al-Shabaabs. And walisemekana kwamba they had came to Kenya to do some training. They were given, it was here illegally to do some training. That one is not watering down what the US said, because the US said also they have incredible information that the current president of the Republic of Kenya is working with rebels and Al-Shabaab. Na US hawezi kosea. US hawezi kosea. So it is true Ruto might be working with Al-Shabaab, and it's true because niliona juzi one of the South Sudan rebels, Hemedi, huyo mwenye anakuja Kenya rafiki sana ya Ruto mwenye anafanya gold na yeye, pia sasa hizi amekuwa sworn in as a leader of the government. Not government ya Sudan, a parallel government. That rebels wameanza, kuna government bill Sudan ya rebels yenye inasupportiwa na Ruto, ana support this guy called Hemedi na now the government of Sudan. Na watu wa Sudan wakasema Ruto asijaribu kanyanga Sudan during all this crisis, asijaribu, na any person mwenye atajulikana like is associated with Ruto akanyange Sudan, dead. Simulisikia ile time ndege ya Kenya na pilot wote waliuawa in Sudan wakati walikuwa wameendea nini. Na ulisikia pia Gachagua akisema like and that story I believe from Gachagua that yeye aliendea Hemedi kwa airport, alikuwa ametumwa na Ruto na alikuwa ameketi kwa hiyo meza when Ruto alikuwa na discuss gold na Hemedi. That one I know is Ruto can do anything for money. That is a fact. Yeah. And that's why the reason Raila cannot talk. Ile pesa mzee anapewa. Okay. Anyway. Sasawa. So that is what is going on in this country. Okay. Alafu katiba at 15 judges lawyer Hayes gains call for full implementation. Tukapa na former chief justice, former chief justice naona hapa. The only person I can't see is Maraga, but we have Mutunga alisema kitu. We have Mother Kome, we have Isaac Lenaura wa Supreme, Paul Mwita veteran politician, Maura Kabata LSK deputy president, and so many full. They were saying about the gains that we have had as a country now for the last 15 years. And Mugara Muwe na Hakimpe, judiciary, they have done a commendable job of making sure at least the excesses of the executive, they do not affect Kenyans. The failure of parliament to oversight the executive and to do their role of registration does not affect Kenyans. There are so many acts of parliament that the judiciary has shut down. There are so many roadside declarations from the executive that our courts, our judicial system has shut down. So despite the corruption that is in the judiciary, at least they have tried. They have tried kidogo to make sure at least so tunaona Mother Kome anasema justice must be treated as a public good like health, and education. Justice must be treated like a public good, like health and education. Former Chief Justice Mutunga anasema we have a transformative constitution that lays a foundation of a revolutionary reform. Then exactly, now Kenyans have come to appreciate the full breadth of the bills of rights. Yes, during Ruto's era, at least now Kenyans can understand the full breadth of the bills of rights. Imagine during this era ya kidnapping, abduction, watu wanapotea, my friend, without the bills of right, Wakenya wangekuwa wapi? Because it is through the bills of right whereby Kenyans have a right to life, freedom of expression, and so on and so forth. That's when Kenya can express themselves. Now you cannot be abducted, and if you're abducted, they go to court. Unasikia judge ameitisha there is a law inasemaga habeas corpus. Habeas corpus ni where you must produce the body, dead or alive, produce the body in court. That is one of the reasons why uliona mpaka hawa acting inspector general of police akina Masengeri wakiitwa na koti wa make sure amenda, so that if they don't do as the court says, like produce a certain person, like mmembo abduct, if you don't produce that person maybe within a week, utakuwa you are in a contempt of court. No. So Mwita anasema here, lack of commitment by successive president has been a major hindrance. Even Uhuru hakuwa ati maraika alikuwa anafuata katiba. So Maura Kabata, the 2010 katiba has not only been under threat but deserve our unwavering defense. We are in far better phrase. Gethu Muigai, former Attorney General, its full potential remains unrealized due to patronage politics, weak oversight, and limited civic participation. Unaona? So you read that story in that page. Alafu hapa kuna Wakenya wanauliza, should Duale and Mwangangi quit over SHA? Most of the Kenyans are saying they don't even understand what akina Duale and Mwangangi is doing over SHA fraud in countries that work on akili. I'm not saying Kenya hakuna akili, but I'm saying in countries that work on akili, na akili zinafanya kazi, mtu kama Duale, the moment uliingia ati Kenya imekuwa na SHA scandals of that magnitude, angekuwa ameenda nyumbani, step down. But this is a country, unasikia mtu amesema ati step down, only to realize they had not even stepped down. A case example of the Deputy Inspector General of Police. Wa Kenyans walishangilia sana atu jamaa step down. Kukuja kuambiwa ati alikuwa leave, sasa amerudi kazi. And he was a major player in that case ya Ojwang. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong in Kenya. Ruto, my friend, why are you doing this to this country? So but tuko na cartoon ya leo, Gamzo ana cartoon ya leo, there's this woman, let me assume it's Wanjiko, anauliza when so when is Kenya hosting the next CHAN tournament? Ooh, I don't want to read that because Kenyans wanasema mimi at least I have malice, but I don't have malice. And the reason this woman is saying that, maybe that is the only reason that this country can qualify. Yeah. For Kenyans to qualify for any international tournament in football, we have to host. But kwenda kwa mchujo, we don't qualify. So, pale juu kuna caption ya Law Society of Kenya President of Faith Odhiambo. Anasema, we strongly condemn all acts of reprisal, victimization against advocates of the High Court of Kenya for the faithful discharge of their duties. The disappearance of advocates, which has historically ended in their be founded, should be treated as a matter of grave national concern. Kuna time Kenya, ma advocates walikuwa wanapotea sana, unasikia mwili mpatikana wapi, and this thing of intimidating advocates and threatening them because of discharging their duties, it's coming back, okay? It is coming back. So nobody is safe. Even advocates. You know, I'm one of them. I'm a lawyer. I'm still not an advocate. But nobody is safe. If we allow this country to go to the dogs, we are all going down as a country. Either one term, two term, whatever. We are all going down. So we must call a spade and not a big spoon. There's an article here of my friend Kidi Mwaga about what Kenya should learn from Germany's state history. So that is what happening in our country. Hapa tunapata Duale akisema ati he has closed more than 40 hospitals, says Duale. How can you close hospitals that do not even exist, Duale? Mmoja anasema hivi, Duale is like Deputy Inspector General of Police Edward Dagard. They work in orders from above, and that's why he can't be shaken. He can't resign just like Rangat. mtu mwingine anasema ww rosto Duare like me we share Muslims value the sanctity of life for one speak the truth on this matter. Ambia wa Kenya nani nakwambia uibe hizi pesa, tell the people the truth. Yeah. Alafu mmoja anasema hapa hivi, Aden Duare, you tweeted that KMPDC has shut down over 40 hospitals in Nairobi. Bwana Duare, Kenyans are not fools. Kindly share the names of those hospitals so that Kenyans can verify they are actually closed. Without names, your claim is nothing but lies. We are not fools. Yeah, because they think we are fools. Coming and telling us, oh, we have closed over 40 hospitals. Which are these hospitals, Duare? People want you to name those hospitals and name the director. Not just hospitals. Hospital is a facility. We just want to know the directors of these hospitals. And the reason you cannot name the hospitals, because you know the directors. They work with you and they work with this government. In fact, you will realize, kama kuna hospitali kama hizo, because they are not even there, you realize director ndio unaona kwa magari na ukipeleka watu state house kusema tutam. Yes, in Kenya kusema tutam ni kama kupewa license ya kurut. In this country, it's so unfortunate that if you want to be given license to root right now for the next 2 years, just say tutam, you'll be given a license to root this country, and we are all going down, my friend, as a country. Okay, and so on and so forth. MPs urge referendum to anchor CDF fund in law. MPs urge referendum to anchor CDF. So tunaenda referendum tena, guy, more than sasa tunatoka hii katiba. We have not been, we are going to referendum. The only referendum me I want ni kwenye tutenda to reduce the number of counties, kwenye tutenda vitu kama CDF zitolewe kwa ma MPs, women rep funds zitolewe kwa ma MPs, senator funds zitolewe kwa ma MPs. We are tired of this nonsense ya token na handouts na everything. Hizo pesa zote zikitolewa zipelekwe kwa Ministry of Education, zikuwe zinalipa shule ikuwe free. But that one can only even happen when we don't have a president like Ruto. But because imagine CDF zitolewe, women funds zitolewe, hizo pesa zote zitolewe, alafu ziwekwe kwa akiti ya education yenye Ruto ni president. Ruto will take everything. Ataiba kila kitu. Sasa hiyo ndio pesa itakuwa sasa proper, inafanya empowerment. So watoto wataacha shule wote sasa waendeage kila mtu wheelbarrow na trolley ya kuuza mayai, because those are things that Kenyans are given in state house right now. State house, you know, Kenyans, you know, ukiwa Mkenya mwenye yako na akili timamu, and I'm sorry, I'm not saying that for you saying tutam hauna akili timamu, but I'm saying ukiwa Mkenya mwenye yako na akili timamu, the day you saw the president doing empowerment in state house, that is the time ungejishika kichwa useme enyewe, this country is gone. This country is now gone to the dogs forever. That is the time ungestahili ujishike kichwa, ujue there is no country here completely. Empowerment state house. Ati mtu anatoka hapa enda state house kupoa unga. Even Moi. Mimi sikuwa isikia vitu kama hizo even with Moi. State house ilikuwa sanctity. Ni ile ground ya policies, ideologies of a country. How can we make country a techno hub? How can we develop Konza City to be a technology hub? How can we make Kenya a giant country in East Africa or something like that? An export hub of what? That is the need. That is the thing about state house. Huko ndio ideology zote za country huwa zina they come live. They come live in that building. But sasa imekuwa ni ya kupeana maunga. I'm not surprised today if you go to a visitor go to state house, akute kuna nyumba inajengwa huko ya kuweka unga. Akiuza nizani naambia ni za kupewa Kenya. Wenye wanasema tutam. Wanawekewa unga state house ya kupewa. It's so bad, and very very bad, guys. So that's the reason, guys. We have international news. The China's president Jinping shaking hands with Narendra Modi of India, and also walikuwa pia na Putin. Yeah, these are the countries. Juzi US imejaribu ku put some tariffs to the exports, Indian exports to US up to 50%. So I think these Asian tigers, is China in Asia? Yeah, Asian tigers, and also one of the European, because Russia inakuwa imeborder both. Russia is so big, it border both Asia and Europe, because it's in Europe entirely. They are coming together so that they can counter Trump. Trump amekuwa a bully. He's trying to bully them. Alikuwa amebully China the other day, but he realized that he cannot be able to bully China anymore. China are more economic power than US. US wamebakisha tu na military na dola. Ukitoa dola saa hizi na military from the US, US is almost done. Pia huko ukienda US unatafuta kazi ukipati. That's why they are deporting people back. Hapa tuko na all is well that ends well. Goodbye Chan. It was a glorious moment for Morocco as they lifted their third African national CHAN title after defeating Madagascar in the final on Saturday night. Lakini ujue Kenya ilikuwa imepiga Morocco, yeah, na ilikuwa imedraw na Madagascar. So I think as much as hiyo cartoon inasema when next will we will we Kenya play in those games, there is possibility that Kenyan's football improve sana. That was the standard paper. Daily Nation nimwambia is about the fixture school getting 3.7 billion. You have authorities flying over. Kila kitu hapa ni corruption. Pure corruption. Nikamwambia hapa kuna shule inaitwa Kaptioni Girls High School in Kabarnet Baringo. Ni poster tu na gate. Hao ndio wanapata 3.7 billion. Pesa ambazo zingesaidia the entire country students wapate food. Sasa hizi nasikia wazazi wanaitishwa an extra money in schools za chakula because the government haipeani capitation. Pia we have page 6 Matiang'i, king of empowerment, king of handouts, king of corruption is Kindiki. Page 6 we have Kindiki, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki meets women grassroots leaders, opinion leaders from Kenya County at his home in Irundini. Hakuna kazi nyingine watu wanafanya. Kindiki hapa amepata wamama hapa, wanaiba na wamama hapa, na kila mtu anaendaga na 5,000. Ukiuliza what is this? No Kenyans can tell you what are these that Duale amepata Karen, Ruto anapata wengine wapi? What are these Kenyans surely? Yeah? Is this the country we want to build for our children? If so, and so be it. If Kenyans tusikizane, this is the country we want, and so be it. But we will be there to tell you the truth. So that, because even when things were bad for this country during Moise, when mtu angeongea, there were Kenyans who paid the price. And they said, we will tell Kenyans the truth. Jamaa nyamaze kabisa. We have page 7. At President Ruto vows to crash graft in health act. Jamaa nyamazishe mdomo kabisa. Mimi hata sitaki kuongea hiyo mambo, hata sitaki kusoma hiyo mambo. Anyamazishe mdomo. How can you vow to crash graft in health sector? And Duale, who has been accused of all those malpractice, anaongesha Wakenya vibaya. We are talking about billions of money zinapotea SHA. Na umenyamaza huko, wewe unajiongelesha. Kwani hiyo ministry Duale na huyo Abdi Mohamed, huyo the former CEO of Radnan Hospital, wenye wanasemekana they have links to that money. They are your appointing authority. Are they not the ministers? Bruto nyamaza. Kenyans are not fools the way you usually think. They are not fools. And they know that money niwe huo unachukua. They are not fools. Okay, pia page 7. There's a guy called here Inside Matiang'i's Roadmap to 2027 Election Contest. Former Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i left, confers with former MP Moro John Mungai during a church service at St. Peter Catholic Church in Elbago, Nakuru County. Let me tell you, Kenyans, this should be the this should be the first election Kenyans will be voted on merit. Our to vote, including Matiang'i, tutawekelea kwa meza. Some people usually say that Matiang'i is a full-time dictator. We'll come here and talk about that. Ruto is not a dictator. Ruto is a thief. That one you have to agree. Ruto is a thief. Ruto roots. Ruto is rooting our country. Matiang'i being a full-time dictator, most of the giant Asian countries, they were not developed by even Democrats. They were developed by dictators. Ukienda Rinkwanu wa Singapore, he was a full-time dictator, my friend. He used to go to Mike and tell them, let me tell you, this industry will be built whether you like it or not. Hiyo time alikuwa anapigana na the oligarchies of Singapore. Kuna watu walikuwa wameshika Singapore, hainge develop, watu wengi walikuwa poor sana, but kulikuwa na clique of people who are very rich. Yeah, anawaambia dare me, nimesema hii industry itatengenezwa, nimesema hii barabara itatengenezwa. Okay, that was the Rinkwanu of Singapore. Ukienda China size, don't think China is a democratic country. For those who have gone to school and have been to China and they know what I'm talking about, China is not a democratic country. In fact, China is like a full-time dictatorial regime. I know you don't know that. China hata ikuropoko sijui uko na Wembe media. You don't, my friend. You don't. The government wanasema what you need to say and everything. But look at China. Yeah, look at China. It's a superpower country because we had a guy who came and said things will be done in the correct way. Simple. Unaleta nyoko unaenda nyumbani. Unakuwa unafutwa unaenda kusema umefutwa kazi ukiwa kwa koti. Yeah? There must be people who must stand, my friend, and say hizi vitafanywa hivi. I remember there was a time tulikuwa na digital migration na watu wakasema kulikuwa na oligarchy wenye wana own media industry. Wakasema tunatoka analog tunaenda digital. There was a song even for that. Wakasema hatutoki analog tunakaa analog. Hiyo ni ile time TV zilikuwa zinanyeshaga ukifungulia TV mtu kwa area huko juu anakuambia imeshika. Matiang'i told them 3 days. The second day wakaambia Wakenya, we will not. That guy is a bully. He's bullying us and we will show him. The oligarchies in the media history. Matiang'i akamwambia 2 days. Akaendelea. That day TV zikazima. Countrywide TV zikazima. Wakaenda sasa wenye walikuwa Matiang'i they will not do it. They went there and told him kubwa nataka tuseme, akamwambia everybody digital. The same happened in schools. Hizi mashule unasikia sijui kaptioni matakataka zina receive in Kabarnet zina receive money. These were things that Matiang'i alikuwa anafanya mpaka education watu wanafurahia about education. Exam Kenya huwa zinaibiwa like nobody's business. Kuna jamaa alikuwa ananiambia in a certain region in this country, my friend, kazi yao ni kununua exam. They don't even have to go to school. I don't want to name the name, msiambia I'm profiling the region. But yeye mwenyewe alikuwa ananiambia in our region even this exam nowadays we don't this tunanunua tu exam. During that time ya Matiang'i, at least for the first time, the sanctity of our exams they came back. At least you have 2 or 3 positive things you can say about this guy. Okay? But does he come from a region with so many Kenyans? Tribal numbers? No. Should Kenyans be charged because you come from a certain ethnic community? No. Kenya, the next president, is that person who will perform, who has values and can be able to perform in this country. That is the person. Not these idiots. Unakuja nimetoka Ikabira. Umetoka Ikabira unatufanyanga nini? Langos at poor of police officers in jeopardy. 10,000 police officers they should be hired, but kuna shida na National Police Service Commission. Yeah, because nana atakula hizo hongo. Because right now in Kenya, because you know things are not working. Hapa kama unatoka Nandi Hills, hata kama unatoka kwa Ruto nyumbani, if your parents hana hongo, my friend, stop wasting your time kwenda kukimbia kwa police. You will not be taken. Watu washachukuliwa already. I know I'm discouraging you, but that's the truth. That's why even these rangos are there in the National Police Service Commission because of a hiring of the 10,000 police. The Inspector General of Police want to take it. It is under the Inspector General of Police, even firing and hiring of the police. But there is a commission that is also saying that they should be the one. Now they are not hawapigani because of the service at who will how to do the other in service delivery. No. Who will eat those hongos? Okay. So that is the thing that is happening. Kuna Somali youths trapped in Libya's trafficking cells. I will read about that in a nutshell. Jubaland pushes Lamu trade ties and Mandera board tension. Jubaland state is seeking fresh trade opportunities through Kenya's Lamu port, even as it conflicts with the federal government. Somali forces keeps the Mandera point on a Jubaland shares a border with Kenya in Mandera, Garissa, and Lamu counties. Yeah, that's why I told you this issue of Jubaland. Jubaland, after Al-Shabaab wameanza kuattack Kenya, the Jubaland forces became our allies. Na hao ndio walisaidia Kenya mpaka kufukuza Al-Shabaab until waka capture the port of Kismayo. So that's why I've told you on this issue of Jubaland, I don't want to talk about it until I get full information, because I might be inciting Kenyans. I don't want to do that. Kwa sababu many will clap for me, but again kuna watu wameenda shule watajanga majuisi surely. Sometimes what tunaona uko na akili. What is going on? Sawa. So that's what done. So that we can say things that are there. Unajua tukisema kila kitu ni uongo, hata vile some of the people will lose trust with that. So we have to talk the way things they are. Okay? So, okay, compassion can't replace justice for killed. Kuna mtu anaitwa Guyo anasema hii ukora yote ati mumeanza committee. Yani Kenya committee ni kama za mashetani, my friend. We do things wrong so that we can start committee. There's a committee imeformwa na Ruto ya kuangalia at victims for compensation. Uwe watu wengine watolewe damu na nini na magunia. There is no justice. Alafu unajifanya sasa you can compensate. What are you compensating? Yeah? What makes people think you will not do it next time? Kama hata hawezi kuja kuambia we are sorry we did this. What makes you think you will not do it? Because this compensation is not about Kenyans. This compensation is a game. 2027 political game. Na najua ni Raila ameleta hii game. But at next time, 2027, atona na mdomo, my friend. They are all going home, including that Raila. Watenda nyumbani, my friend. Yeah? This is our country. So, kuna ghost hospitals hapa. Ghost hospitals, ghost school, ghost workers. Just give me an idea. Ghost voters. An old constitutional resilience. Kuna ma ghost hospitals hapa na I think ni politician amekaa juu ya gari mwenye anaonyesha wa Kenya about ghost hospitals. Then tuko na September 1st 2002 a major split emerged among Central Kenya leaders after Jenga Karume second and he was abandoning DP Moi Kibaki to back Uhuru Kenyatta in the presidential race. Karume said he chose Uhuru because the Kikuyu wanted to be in the next government but maintained he was still a DP member. Hii story nitakuja kwa watia kwanza watu wanatoka mlima. Unajua nawapatia story what happened. So pia tuko na clashes. They leave one dead in Mount Narok. Hizi Nakuru. Bonfires at Mwisho Warami shopping center in Mount Narok yesterday after crisis between two communities. Police shot one person dead. 8 others were seriously injured and more than 6,000 tortured. County Commission later held a peace meeting. Sasa tukianza hiyo utoto, my friend. That's why like kusoma hiyo kitu. So I read some of your comments, guys. Tears, anger as families call loved ones taken by police. Kuna Paul Tata hapa who lost his son in 2024 anti-finance bill protest addresses record of commemoration of victims of forced. Yeah, what can replace a soul? You kill a person's son like Baba Ojwang. Hata mkisema victim compensation, how will you compensate the 20 years alipiga mawe kwa kusomesha huyo kijana? You think at his age sasa ni pesa anataka? At his age he wanted to see the fruit of all the hard work. So guys, telling those people that ati muna compensate. How can you compensate a person mwenye alifanya kazi for 20 years akipiga mawe kware apeleke mtoto wake shule. Mtoto wake amemaliza university, ameanza kufunza. That is the only pride Baba Ojwang wanted at his old age. Ni pesa ngapi mtampatia asa huyo kijana? Ama mlikuwa nafikiri everything is transactional? You know Ruto thinks even life is transactional. Ruto can kill an entire village. Na asema sasa watu walipo. Because everything he thinks is about money and transaction. I will read some of your comments because it's already 7:55. And I read the comments za watu. I want to read all your comments, by the way. I want to read all your comments, guys. Nyanza wapi? Good. Acha niambe. Wembe. Okay. There's a positive. What is? I'm from Kabarnet. It's so peaceful for sure. Mahali pabaya ni Tiati. Yeah, Tiati in Kabarnet. Mungu saidia. Jambi Bill handsome. It's better. It's only God will save Kenya. Raji Wambiro. What if we seize them after election 2027 or official government? I want to tell Ranji Wambiro, do you think usually government changes? That's why nilikuwa mimi naambia afagia watu wote waende nyumbani. Because Ranji Wambiro, unasema you says what after 2027 election. Ruto was campaigning with KEMSA. Na akaambia Wakenya vile pesa za Wakenya zimekuliwa through KEMSA scandal, Minister of Health. That time, who was the Minister of Health? Mutahi Kagwe. Me, I thought after Ruto ukuja atasema hata kama hatafanya vitu mingi kwa sababu he's also corrupt, huyo watu walijua ni KEMSA scandal, atawekwa ndani. Now, who is the Minister of Agriculture? The same guy Mutahi Kagwe. Juzi amekuja ameambia watu that Gen Z wameiba fertilizer. Hello, Mr. Majus. Update us in what was happening yesterday who got TPs. I don't want to go that road, my friend, about TPs because it's pure tribal clashes that are coming. Imagine other people are going to the moon, other people are going to the Mars. Yeah, Tanzania have many tribes than us, over 80. You can't tell Suluhu ni wa kabila gani Tanzania. Jakaya Kikwete alikuwa kabila gani. You can't tell Magufuli ni wa kabila gani. But here in this country, my friend, you are judged because of our tribe, not character. Kuna Kenya politics anasema 2 term, and so be it. Who cares? Mr. B anasema Prophet Maina OTC alisema upitie kwake akuombe uchukue hii kiti ya senator Nakuru bro. Ati Prophet Maina OTC alisema upitie kwake akuombe uchukue hii kiti ya senator Nakuru. If I don't have to be prayed for anyway, Mr. Mbio, but thank you so much, and thank you Prophet Maina OTC, because you see the jobs that I usually do. In fact, even jana nimekuwa Nakuru, especially Elbagon. There are people there. I wanted to make sure they have gone to the Supreme Court, and I want to make it a constitutional crisis that a person in this country, you can work for 40 years, 30 years, my friend. Alafu mtu akukaishie salary for just a 1 month or 2 months. Ukitia salary ukue dismissed, so that all you have worked for inapotea chini. I want it the Supreme Court to talk about that issue. I want it kama ikue president, wacha ikue president at the Supreme Court, that in this country such an injustice can happen. That's what I want. So wale watu wote wamefanya team sale, the retirement, retire, those are my friend. We want it to be a constitutional crisis. I want that one. Mungu akinisaidia, I want that case to go to the Supreme Court. Tulikuwa na mawakili huko jana wengi na wakachukua those details, and we wanted to make sure that at least Kenyans know where they stand in this country. Okay, so thank you Mr. Bayo. Mungu akubariki. Kenya politics Kasongo ametubia jina, alitufanya nini akili. Kenyan politics, mtalia opposition hadi Mungu arudi from Kerokoya. Kerokoya tena Kaptioni. Where's jificha sana. Kerokoya. Okay, they made a movie about our education system. Imagine, yes, they made a movie. By the way, they did, Yeah, they made a movie about our education system. That is true. I want people to watch that documentary. It's very bad. Okay, opinion leader. I blame Mulima readers. Wanachochea wengine Rift Valley arafu wanarudi Central kuenjoy amani. Mr. Bayo, Wambiro, Mr. Bayo, whatever, opinion, Taranta Stadium. Ama huku hamtaki watu wa 2 term. No, you can come. Just say what you want, my friend. This is our country. Niliwaambia, hawa watu wanasema wako opposition, na mnasema that is the reason they are crying. They come from Mount Kenya. Ask yourself from Monday last week, kama umeona mtu yote ya Baringo akienda State House. Walianza, hao ndio wanaenda peke yao. If there is any even things to, hao ndio wanapelekwa huko. Because these leaders, they know there is nothing like Kabira. Wanajua ni game wanachezea wa Kenya. They eat on behalf of their families. Ask yourself, ni watu wangapi wa Western umeona wakienda State House? State House the entire week ilikuwa watu wa Kiambu 10,000, watu wa Embu 10,000, watu wa Meru, jana ilikuwa watu wa Kirinyaga. Ni watu wa Kirinyaga, walikuwa, hey my friend, what are you telling me? Opinion leader, Talanta Stadium is not an achievement as if you are sportsmen. Mlisema heri muizi, so tumalize 2 term. A guy, tribal conflict imeanza Narok. Yes, imeanza my friend. That's why I don't want even to go that road, because it's so shameful. Niuliza watu wa Kenya, those who are doing this tribe whatever. Ukipiga mtu umuue kwa sababu ya shamba yake, utachukua shamba? Hautachukua. And I'm giving a case example of the sitting president William Samoei Ruto. During 2007, walifukuza jamaa alikuwa anaitwa Muteshi. He was the neighbor to Ruto. Akamfukuza, akachukua shamba yake 100 acres. Alichukua hiyo shamba? He didn't take it, because Kenya we have institutions that are working. Alienda kwa koti na akaambiwa na koti, rudishia huyo mzee shamba yake. So ukipiga mtu kwa sababu unataka kuchukua shamba yake and he has the documents, my friend, you are just a fool, because you will not even take that fool. Mtu mmeishi na yeye, mmeishi kuombana chumvi pale kwa senda, mnakunywa chai pamoja, then a guy ametoka kana anamwambia pigana na hawa watu. Okay? Haya. 2 term Waguma, anaitwa Frederick Waguma. Sasa hawa wameingia government. Ni watu, because Raila amesema, I supported that guy and I'll never support that guy in my life again. In fact, sometimes I feel cheated to have supported that guy. Kuna mtu anaitwa Mrembo anasema ujinga gani hiyo? Does the 2 term leaders know your doorstep? Dude, umeparara kama ametukano. I wish the Supreme Court ruled and Arau Gachagua. There's a guy called Opinion Leader. Anasema I wish the Supreme Court ruled and Arau Gachagua to vie alafu akue rais tuone kama ako perfect. I cannot vote Gachagua. And I'm saying that with a lot of pride. I cannot vote Gachagua. What is the difference between Gachagua and Ruto? That's why even this guy called Opinion Leader who is saying 2 term, kila bahari ati 2 term, wakikuu kuna kila mtu mwenye, hata Ruto mwenyewe anaomba Mungu Gachagua asimame. Yes. So that they can give a Kenyans a scenario of choosing between a black kettle and a black pot. In fact, let me tell you, the only chance Ruto anafikiria anaweza simama ni kama Gachagua anaweza simama. But any other Kenyan akisimama, we are going to take Ruto home. We deserve better. There is no other president who can be Yani who can be bad as Ruto. I'm 100% sure of that. Yeah, but Gachagua is not our option. I'm saying that with a lot of pride. Okay, yeye tunataka atusaidie mambo na one term. Then niliwaambia my analogy of Gachagua and Ruto. Nilisema Gachagua akuwe the Samson, akuwe the Samsonic ideology, whereby after Samson alirealize makosa yote amefanya, aliomba Mungu ampatie nguvu, si ya kuishi tena, ya kuwa na nguvu so that he can take the pillars of the Palestinians kwenye walikuwa na enjoy, wakufe wote pamoja. So tunaombea hata Gachagua Mungu ampe nguvu, aendelee kusema one time, aendelee kusema one time, so that Mungu ampatie nguvu hizi pillars za Kenya kuisha, aziweke chini na aende hapo nyumbani, because we want a country whereby this Ruto will be the last president to be bought. So Chris Gakuru, hakuna si Rao na si Ruto. This country can only be changed by someone who has never been KANU system. That's why I tell people sometimes, fagia the entire system. Fagia the entire system. If you look at these people, even Kalonzo himself, Kalonzo was a since the 80s alikuwa minister wa Moi. Then watu wamekuwa minister wa Moi. Let me name you who people who are in Moi, so that because tuingie Chris Gakuru venye anasema Gachagua alikuwa special dio in Moi. In fact, Gachagua was like a son to Moi. Gachagua. Kalonzo alikuwa from 1980 amekuwa minister wa Moi from 1980. Uhuru was a minister in Moi's government. Raila, unajua kuna Wakenya wengine wajui Raila amekuwa minister wa Moi government all that time. That's the reason sometimes huwa naketi chini najiuliza, this guy, did he ever believed in something? Did he ever had an ideology? Raila, even after kuteswa na Moi for 9 years, alikuja akashikana na Moi, akakuwa minister, akakuwa secretary general wa KANU. Do people know that? Ama hiyo history hamtakai kusema tu ni kupigana. My friend, kuna watu walipigania hii Kenya kama akina Jaramogi. Jaramogi fought for this country with his heart. Not even one day, Jaramogi, since 1963. And one day I told you people, I'll come and tell you of a leader Kenya had. And I told Jaramogi. We'll tell you even the reason they fought with Kenyatta. Msidanganywe na hizo matakataka mnasikiaga huko nje. Ati alikuwa anataka kukaria kitizo ni takataka. My friend, there is a very good reason. And Kenyans who read books and do their research on these things, they know the reason. And it was a reason. It was the good for this country. The same time, the reason akina Piogama Pinto were killed. There is no day in moment ati Jaramogi alisema kwa sababu sasa wa Kenya hataki kunichagua, even after 1992 time ilikuwa multi party, sasa mimi nita join Ruto. But tuko na Raila hapa amefungwa mpaka na Moi karibu akufe. Then ametoka, Moi amemdanganya na pesa, amekuwa minister of roads, amekuwa secretary general wa KANU. Hawa watu wote wa Moi. Uhuru alikuwa Kenyatta, alikuwa not Kenyatta. Uhuru alikuwa minister wa Moi, Gachagua alikuwa minister wa Moi, Kalonzo alikuwa minister wa Moi, Mudavadi alikuwa minister wa Moi. All those people, my friend, yeah? Alafu mudhani Kenya can change. That's why I told you, when this Chris Gakuru anasema, if we are not careful, Kenya is not going to change. Because naulizaga vizuri sana, ebu niambie, since we ujijue ni serikali gani mwaibadilika? The only person who changes the heart is the president. Akiingia, everybody who was in the government is back in the government. Mwenye alikuwa anaambiwa naiba pesa ya KEMSA Mutahi Kagwe, now is the minister for agriculture. Na yeye ndio Ruto alikuwa, kwani Ruto alifanya campaign na nini? Ruto alifanya campaign na that one. So ukichezwa bro, mrembo wa Matiang'i, opinion leader, for your information, he's not a motion. We are not tribal like you. Mrembo Matiang'i anaambia opinion leader, for your information, Gachagua is not our option. We are not tribal like you. Eric Mbaka, 2022 people didn't understand your messaging as of now. 2022 Mbaka, nilipiga message. Yani nilikuwa naambia Wakiku. I used to use my own money. Nenda mpaka Kirogoya, nenda Kirinyaga, naongelesha watu. I remember even one time nilienda pari, we argued with Pentecostal pastors uko Kirinyaga. My friend, wakaniitia gun. Wakaniitia gun because walikuwa shalipwa. Walikuwa naambia wa Kenya that Ruto ni Daudi, atakuja kubadilisha Kenya. Nawaambia, my friend, if people, you can know the people's character, don't try to repaint them. But people tried to repaint Ruto. Wengine wenye mnataka kumrepaint watu wa Luo Nyanza and you know him well, you can repaint him. There's no problem, my friend. This politics we are not doing with bitterness. We are doing so happy because we know what we say is factual. Are we together? So bandi angebaki, my prayers brabra. Hapa kuna watu na chege, it's one time whether you like it or not. Kabisa. It is one time. Okay? Umenielimisha leo. Kenywa keyboard anasema nimemuelimisha. Thank you so much. Kuna mtu Harambee anasema Kenya is heading the way of Indonesia. Guy, imagine that's where we are heading. That's where we are heading. You know, Kenya kituraha, what people don't understand na Harambee, Kenya is no longer, it is not corruption in Kenya anymore. It is looting. There is difference between corruption and looting. Most of the countries leaders wakisema, oh, even some countries have corruption. Yes. Even China lazima kuko na corruption kidogo. Even US kuko na corruption. But Kenya si corruption saa hizi. Kenya is massive looting that is going on in this country. Of now. Well, do you imagine a scenario whereby saa hizi ukienda kuchukulia mtoto birth certificate, uende uchukue license, uende ufanye anything else, tunalipa through e-citizen. But kuna watu Kenya already officials in the government kwenye pesa zinaenda. Yani pesa za e-citizen we think, even treasury, hawajui pesa zinaenda wapi. Zinaenda into a private entity. Unasikia Auditor General wakisema over 11 billion zimeenda kwa private accounts. E-citizen, pesa zinaokotwa na Kenya, zinaenda kwa private account. That is what we are telling you. Kenya is no longer corruption. It is massive looting. Hata nahurumia president mwenye atakuja, atakuwa na kibarua kurudisha Kenya penye iko. That's why I'm telling you, Kenyans, we must vote right, okay? Niliona US wanafunga embassy ama I don't know about that. I will check about. But si kufunga, they are not, there's something they are celebrating. Wafungi kwa sababu ya our nini. Kenya is a very strategically, they cannot dare do that. Who will eat those ongos? Ghost police stations. Okay, and so many things. Sinta online anasema pure truth. Obed anasema Kenya need to be safe first before we enter tribalism. If it's cousin system, it's way better. We need to save Kenya. But let me tell you one thing. You might think you're saving Kenya for the sake of saving Kenya, and then you realize mweke watu worse than wenye walikuwa. Are you together? We are saving Kenya. But what we are saving Kenya, Kenyans are people who have brains. They know what is happening in their country. They can make a decision. They did it before in 2002. Na wakasema they want to change their country. Na wakavote Kibaki to the man. And something changed. And this time round, Kenyans, I'm telling you, we are not looking at the tribe. And Ruto want to use a tribal card. And it will not eat at Ndoendele Kukula and other tribal chiefs. No. Even in our region, a person come to tell us about the tribal politics, my friend. You can go to hell with your tribal politics. We know you when you are in the government. We know you. Tunajua matendo yako. Yeah? And I told Kenyans, if you want to know people, just look at who they were in the government. Guys, it's already 8:10 in the morning. This is Wembe. You can subscribe when you hatusikii vizuri. Kuna sometimes watu wanasema our voice is breaking. Tunakuaga all these people who have joined, make sure you join us in over 9,000 views. People who have joined, make sure you join us in something called Wembe YouTube, Wembe Media YouTube, www.youtube Wembe Media, so that kama utaingia job you can see our Wembe nini. Hapa tuliwaambia we don't have a special person in this Wembe. We'll call out everybody. In fact, there is no angel. All the presidential candidates came to conversation, but we'll tell Kenyans huyu anakuaga hivi, so that Kenyans will be going to the ballot knowing tunachagua huyu because of this. But usifunge masikio. Last time our people made a blunder. We tried to talk, wakafunga masikio. We told them huyu mwizi leave around kuiba mali ya umma unasema kwani ameiba nini yangu, ataiba the souls of your children. Has it not happened? It's not happening. That is the thing now. So guys, it's already 8:11 in the morning. My friend Kiroga alikuwa ameenda mahali, akakuja very late the other night, so akasema he will not be able to make it. But thank you guys for joining us. Continue supporting us, guys. 2027 we want Wembe Media to be one of the greatest stations enye itakuwa inaambia Wakenya the truth of what is happening in this country. And may God of heaven awabariki sana for joining. Yours and nimefurahi sana, most of you are joining live and even YouTube. tumekuwa na very good subscribers, people joining from the US. Naona mwingine akiniambia I'm in the US, Chege, you are doing a good thing. Kuna Tiwen anasema I don't understand why someone stealing billion and then says I do not write my privacy. Hii ni kizungu wapi, yeah? So guys, that is the thing about what was there. Mimi sitakai kupita page 21 ya magazeti because of Wakenya hii mambo yanakuibiwa pesa za nini, kwa sababu ya auctioneering. Then hizo mambo zingine auctioneering, my friend, we auctioneering from page 20 that too. If you have some money, enda ununue manyumba, my friend. Niliwaambia this time round Wakenyans, ebu sijui kama my director anaweza onyesha. I want you people to understand what I usually tell you. Sijui kama director ataonyesha. Tumetoka auctioneering ile ilikuwa ya magari. Sasa tunaanza hapa auctioneering. Hata huko nyuma kulikuwa na auctioneering. Now people are being auctioned their houses. Sijui kama director anaonyesha. This was unheard of, yeah? Hakuna mtu anaweza taka nyumba zao zikuwe auction. This is the real of Kenya. This is the real actual picture of what is happening in this country. You can see. Tumetoka sasa kwa ile yenye ulikuwa sikia magari zilikuwa auction, ati magari za kitambo nini. All these are houses. Residential, mtu amejengea familia yake nyumba, it is being auctioned. Hizo zote ni nyumba za watu, residential. Niliwaambia kuna mzee alinipigia simu akaniambia, my friend, siku hizi anaingia club asubuhi, anatoka usiku na analala kwa club because even ile nyumba alikuwa ametengeneza watu wake imekuwa auction. I told you, hii mambo yote unasikia nyumba zinakuwa auction, kwako ni ujinga. Na kwako lazima useme two tab because unashangaa wewe nini unakuwa auction. All these are auctioneers. From page what? All these are auctioneers. Na ni nyumba za watu, mali ya watu, mpaka shule zinakuwa auction. All these are auctioneers. Then all these are auctioneers. Lakini to most Kenyans, hiyo yote auctioneer kwa sababu you are not being auctioned, hiyo yote ni ushenzi. But remember my saying, I usually tell you, mchele kwa mazishi inakuwa tamu sana. Ukienda ukula mchele kwa mazishi, my friend, alafu sema nipee kachai hapo, inakuwa tamu sana. But wait until the day hiyo mchele itapikwa kwenyu. Wait until the day hiyo mchele itapikwa kwenyu. So anything we are talking about shape has a shakuibwa, to you hiyo ni ujinga, hiyo ni uchochezi tunahenya. Hiyo ni ujinga. But wait until the day it will be your mother in that hospital. Alafu pesa zote zinaibiwa, hakuna madaktari. So guys, that is the end of today Wembe. Ndio mwende job. May God bless you so much even for joining us. Jane K anasema I trust you majuzi, you guys are doing a great work. Thank you so much Jane. Obed Isoy anasema Chege niko Texas na Nakuru ni home, we need to connect. Yes Obed, you inbox me. Yes, inbox me na utume madola. Kenya kumeshikana. Yes, mkiniambia mko Texas mnatuma madola kidogo my friends. Sasa may God of heaven awabariki sana. Today's was Wembe, and the reason we came with our Wembe, not anybody's Wembe, so that we can be able to call people for who they are. Are we together? Tusiambue fanyeni no. At least let us be patriotic for once. Mimi nitafurahia siku moja yenye nitasikia. And mimi naulizaga Wakikuyu because tumekuwa na government all those years. Tumesaidika na nini? Like at an individual level. Nothing. Kibaki hakupe mtu ata handout ata moja. But the entire country felt it. That is the kind of leader this country want. Yeah. Hata mkituambia sijui somebody anakuwa dictator na, but do things work when he's dictating. That is Ruto is not a dictator. Kuna watu walisema Ruto has never been a dictator. Ruto is just a thief. Rooting has never. Dictators, some people like nimekwambia Asian Tigers, those Singapore, kama ujue leo. Even China is a dictatorial country. Kama hujasomea huko, my very close whatever amesomea huko, sitawaambia ni nani for his huko juu sana wenye wananijua. But huko anakuambia how things work. But vitu kama basic shule masomo, hospital affordability, it is growing, it's becoming one of the biggest. Because the person when wako China wakisema ni barabara, they hate something called an empty talk. Unaizima empty talk ati gazi ya 300, gazi ya 200, tutaajiri 1 million, sisi tumetafuta kazi 2 million, 3 million Germany even people hajafika sijui how. Guys, muende job. Tutakutana kesho the same place Mungu akitujalia. This is Wembe, where we tell Kenyans the way things are. Yeah. When you are two-term, when you are hapa, this page you are allowed to comment anything. We are all Kenyans. Are we together? If you feel that hizo vitu zote mpaka Auditor General anasema Ruto wanaiba pesa hii citizen, but you feel it is the best way things should be done in this country, and so be it. We are very happy. Are you together? We are very happy. We are all going down as a country. You think we are fighting Ruto? We don't have an issue with Ruto as a college. We have issue with Ruto as a person. Thank you so much, guys. Na mkuwe na siku njema. That is it. Kesho tupatane Wembe. When you wanasema they want to talk, we talk. Simuingie maze inbox, we talk. Thank you, guys. This time we hope it will not be like 2022 kwenye mtakuwa mmefunga masikio. This time fungueni masikio. We live once and we can't live in such a country. Nimewambia mwende uangalie last week Wakenya wangapi our ladies wenye wamekufia Saudi Arabia. Our ladies wenye wamekufia Saudi Arabia. Yes. Slavery. And God gave us a Canaan. Unaangalia nchi ya Kenya hata unajidharau. Nchi inanyesha like almost entire year. Kama ni mamito, even the desert, Turkana, Takwel, freshwater lakes, akina River Turkana, ukipita Northeastern, River Tana, kina Isiolo, Ewasonyiro, the river. And unashindwa, what is wrong with this country? Why can't we make things work for this country? Kama ni ukulima mpaka sisi tunalipa, tukisoma tulikuwa tuna reading exporters of coffee. Coffee right now as we speak. Hata sasa hiwe ukienda hoteli kama kuko na kanini kabaridi unasema ni mko na coffee, white ama black? Coffee is gold. But look at us now. Anyway, thank you guys. Mungu awabariki sana sana and have a beautiful day. Asante sana. Sawa.